So today I'm so excited about this session because we will talk through our UC San Diego college system, something special and unique about our institution. The colleges help students thrive as they create an opportunity to make the university experience more personal and approachable. We recognize that you, as a prospective student, often have questions about our UC San Diego college system, especially when you open up the UC application and you see that you have to rank them from your favorite to your least favorite. So we are here today to help you understand the colleges and answer the questions that you have. Without further ado, I would like to pass it on to my colleagues, Cyn and Corey, two of our admissions officers who are also UC San Diego alumni, to officially begin today's session. Cyn and Corey.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon with us. My name is Cynthia. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am one of the admission officers on our team here with UC San Diego, and I'm also an alumna of the university. I am a graduate from Muir College, and so we'll have a chance to talk a little bit about that experience later on. But if you have any questions, do know that we will have a Q&A session at the end. And so I'll go ahead and I'll let Corey introduce himself.
Thank you, Cyn, and hello and welcome everyone to this future Triton Week session where, like you guys have heard, Cyn and I are going to dive into each of our 7 colleges so you guys can all understand, how our college system works, how to best rank them on the application, because that is something that we will ask you guys to do as you're filling out that application. So I'll go first and I'll explain just briefly what our college system is all about. And then I will go ahead and pass it over to Cyn, who will dive into some of our other 7 colleges. So before we begin and dive into each one individually, I really just want to make sure that everyone in the audience has just a general understanding of how our college system works. So first thing to remember is that every college is created equal, and they all are here to help our students thrive at UC San Diego. Right, so our campus is pretty big, as I'm sure you guys have heard in some of our other sessions. So this college system that we have here really gives students the opportunity to make their university experience more personal and more approachable. Second is that our college system really allows our students to experience the best of both worlds. And what I mean by that is that you get all of the advantages that come with being at a large tier 1 research institution, such as access to state-of-the-art facilities, and also being able to build those relationships with our faculty and staff members. But then you also get to feel like you're part of that smaller community through your college affiliation, right? So it really breaks our larger campus down into smaller groups. Remember that new first-year students will be housed by college, so you will live in your college neighborhood. And each college has their own academic advising, their own dean's office services, their own student government, and special events for their students. Now, we always get a lot of questions about the college system. So, don't be shy. Feel free to use that Q&A feature. And we have folks in the background who are here to answer all of your questions. Okay, so remember that students can study in any UC San Diego major and be in any of our 7 colleges. I'm going to repeat that again because this is one that is very popular, and this is a question that we get all the time. Students can study any of our majors that we offer here at UC San Diego and be a part of any of our 7 colleges. So there's no one college that's better or worse for a particular major. I get that question all the time. Just like there's no one college that you can rank on the application that's going to, better your chances of admission, right? So no matter which of our 7 colleges you are in, the major will be exactly the same. You guys are all UC San Diego students first, and then affiliated with a college second. Students in a particular major will all need to meet the same major requirements in order to graduate, regardless of their college affiliation. And then also keep in mind that classes are taught all throughout campus, and many will include students from colleges that are other than the one you are a part of. So each of our 7 colleges, again, has their own student government, organizations, traditions, and special events. And you will also find these same opportunities at a campus-wide level for students, no matter which college they are in. Now, the main difference among our colleges is that each has their own philosophy. And from that philosophy, they have all developed a general education requirement plan for their students to complete. Now, again, remember, each college also is known for being its own neighborhood on campus. So we like to describe them as neighborhoods. And just to reiterate, new students will live in their college neighborhood. So on this slide, we've pointed out a few resources for you all to explore. The admissions website is, of course, a really good one, and that provides just brief overviews of each college, including their theme, their motto, their philosophy, their community and traditions, and of course, their general education requirements. Also their housing profiles and the restaurants and markets and dining options that are open to their students. And then it also has links to each specific college website where you guys can dive deeper into each one individually. The second link that you see, mycompass.ucsd.edu. This one goes a little into more detail about each college and gives more information and videos about academic advising, student services and student life, like the academic experience for students in those colleges, university living and student services, and much more. And then the third link, my personal favorite, one that I use all the time, especially when telling students about our colleges, is the compare.ucsd.edu tool. This is a really good way to compare the colleges side by side. And it's a really good way to just, visually see like the key differences between all of the colleges' general education requirements, their residential areas, right? What the housing is like in each college neighborhood, and dining and physical locations in those colleges as well. And then lastly, you can find multiple colleges' publications here on our admissions website that we just dropped the link in the chat. And these are also great resources that provide visuals of what our college neighborhoods look and feel like as well. Okay, so next up, we are going to dive into each of our 7 colleges individually in founding order, which brings us to our first college, which is Revel, right? So the first of our 7 colleges was established in 1964, and it's named in honor of Roger Revel, who is also oftentimes considered the father of our university here at UC San Diego. He gets credit for UC San Diego kind of adopting this very unique college system. Revel College offers a traditional liberal arts general education curriculum with courses from many academic disciplines, both inside and outside of your major, to help students become well-rounded scholars, right? So the motto for Revel is purpose, truth, and vision. And according to their college philosophy, and graduates from Revel will have attained an acceptable level of general education in mathematics, foreign language, the physical, biological, and social sciences, the fine arts, and the humanities, and they will also have a pre-professional competence in an academic discipline, which is your major. So some of Revel's special events and college traditions include painting the anchor, which is an opportunity for our artistic students to go and tag some designated spaces on campus. We have Welcome Week, which is an annual UC San Diego tradition designed to foster, just Triton spirit, school spirit for our new and returning students. We also have Family Day, where students can bring their families to campus and hear from Revel College's provost. And then, of course, the most popular one is definitely the watermelon drop, where students, do exactly as it sounds, and they drop these big watermelons off the top of some of our campus buildings. This one is a lot of fun and usually draws a lot of big crowds. Okay, so the second college that was established at UC San Diego is Muir College, and this one was established in 1967. So this is the college that I was also a part of as an undergraduate. I believe Sin mentioned she was also in Muir College. We both had great experiences as Muirons. That's what, we call each other here at UC San Diego. So, if you don't know how to rank them after today's session, go with Muir, that's a good choice. But the Muir College is named after the 19th century naturalist, writer, and founder of the Sierra Club. His name is John Muir. And this college celebrates itself on resilience, calculated risk-taking, and the joys of finding your own direction. So students in Muir are really, I think at an advantage because whatever your chosen major, you'll be free to select those meaningful courses that support your area of study, but also allow you to flex your creative muscles, right? So the adaptable nature of the coursework that students in Muir take allows them to pursue double majors oftentimes, or minor in a subject that is not closely related to their major. Those are just 2 examples. Now, Muir College is a special place that is known for its welcoming and supportive community. and Muir students are recognized and respected for their individuality, fostering their independent spirit by going on to start many successful companies and businesses as well. So some popular Muir College traditions, like I mentioned before, of course, Welcome Week. We have the Unolympics, which is where our colleges will compete every year for the Golden Shoe and of course, bragging rights. Muir also hosts a Halloween carnival in the outdoor space, which is Muir Quad on our campus, where they have games, food, and other fun activities for our students. And then of course, there's the famous pumpkin drop, where we take a 500-pound pumpkin, stuff it with candy, and then drop it down below to huge crowds of students. This is also another one that's really fun. And if you ask any Muir College alum, they usually have a good story for you about the pumpkin drop. Okay, our third college established here at UC San Diego was in 1970, and this one is Thurgood Marshall College. This college actually just celebrated its 50-year anniversary, so they'll be hosting special events and provide other resources for their students to kind of celebrate that history and culture on our campus. Marshall College's motto is the student as a scholar and a citizen, and this develops strong communities comprised of what they call tenacious individuals. So at Marshall College, we really believe that you have the power and the obligation to make the world a better place. Those GE classes will reflect this motto, and you are going to be encouraged to bring your skills to the table and become a more effective and empowered citizen. So our Marshall College students are also encouraged to pursue their own chosen majors, but with a solid arts, humanities, and sciences foundation that will highlight the evolution of American society. The Marshall College experience also challenges its students through engagement inside and outside of the classroom. So during the course of your UC San Diego career, students in Marshall College can definitely expect to be equipped to pursue academic success, build leadership skills, and also develop a lifestyle that fosters well-being. Okay, some of the Marshall College traditions, again, like I mentioned before, definitely Welcome Week. They also have what we call Thurgood Marshall Week. And then they also have Marshall Palooza, which is a student planned carnival and also the biggest highlights on campus in our fall quarter. There's also the College Bowl, which is a trivia-based game and competition between our colleges. And that one is organized by our recreation department. Again, just like many of our other events that are for specific students in a specific college, ask any of our alumni or current students about some of these events, and I'm sure that they'll have great things to say. Now, with that, I would like to pass it over to Cyn, and she will walk you guys through the rest of our wonderful colleges here at UC San Diego.
Awesome. Thank you, Corey. So I'm going to be talking about the rest of our colleges. Next here is Earl Warren College. Earl Warren College was established in 1974 as the fourth undergraduate college at UC San Diego. Their philosophy is toward a life in balance, and this was inspired by its namesake, U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice Earl Warren. So at Warren College, no matter what your major is, here you will be able to develop as an ethical citizen who impacts our global society all through your undergraduate experience. In other words, they help you identify your personal goals and your career goals, and then create a college experience that allows you to thrive in both. This way you can contribute to society. You'll also notice that their general education resembles two mini minors in areas outside of your major that you get to choose. This is commonly known as programs of concentration. And it's enough classes for students to be able to pick up minors in those areas of study. Or you get to choose two smaller areas of study if you are majoring in engineering. Some of the traditions at Warren College, if we go to the next slide, you will see that some of the more popular ones is probably Winter Warrenland. So since 2011, the Warren College Student Council Events Board hosted this festive holiday celebration at the end of fall quarter. Winter Warrenland also features a lot of cookie decorating, hot cocoa, crafts, and ugly sweater competition, karaoke, and photo booths. So tons of fun. And then Close second is probably Warren Wednesdays. So here, Warren College staff and their student organizations, they host monthly programs on one Wednesday per month that are completely free and open to all Warren students. And they get to show their Warren pride by wearing their college colors every Wednesday, because on Wednesdays, they wear Warren. So that's a little bit about Warren. Next, I want to talk about Eleanor Roosevelt College. So this is the 5th founded college at UC San Diego, named after former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. Not only was she known as an American political figure, but also as a passionate diplomat and activist. Here, their general education courses build your awareness and understanding of histories, customs, ideas, problems, and aspirations of people all around the world. And so it definitely sparks many students' interest to study abroad. This is something that you can do when you're in any college, but especially being a Roosevelt student. Overall, Eleanor Roosevelt really focuses on developing developing students as global citizens through their education, general education courses. That way they build your awareness and understanding of those various topics we just mentioned. Some of the events that they host are listed on our screen here. I think one of the coolest ones is probably Rock and Roosevelt, which is where they host an annual free concert series where they bring different indie artists to close out their winter quarter. Some of the past performers have included Bad Sons and Saint Model, so really exciting. They're also home to International House, which is commonly known on our campus as iHouse. This is where they provide housing for international and domestic students, and it really fosters that intercultural awareness and understanding. Then we have Sixth College. So Sixth College has not been named yet. It was founded in 2001. They really strive to be innovative, interconnected, and aware. So this year is really exciting because Sixth College moved to their brand new permanent home, which is at the North Torrey Pines Living and Learning neighborhood. This area is home to their residence live, their administrative hub, their crafts center. They have state-of-the-art dining facilities, retail, and they have this pretty awesome green, central green lawn. I've visited and it is quite nice. At Sixth College, their mission really is to prepare our students to become dynamic citizens of the 21st century and to be confident in generating cutting-edge, boundary-breaking ideas and innovative technology. In other words, they help cultivate, again, the 21st century scholar. Their general education coursework or their academic program is called CAT. They really focus on the intersection of culture, art, and technology. And this really allows our students to customize their own experience, right? As they work on, a common mission as well as their personal goals. At Sixth College, some of their traditions include the Chocolate Festival, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a festival of everything chocolate, chocolate fountains, chocolate dips, chocolate everything. And word on the street is that you are able to dip anything you want in the chocolate, except any other living things or persons or your roommates. Okay, and then lastly, last but certainly not least is Seventh College. So at Seventh College, their philosophy is confronting the challenges of a changing planet. And this really encompasses a broad range of pressing global issues. This includes climate crisis, mass migration, and then the many rapid cultural and technological changes. Seventh College was established in 2019 and it did matriculate its first class of students ever in fall of 2020. So this is really a historic opportunity for our students to be able to really leave their mark in this generation and be able to create that culture and those traditions at 7th College. So some of the traditions at 7th College, they actually don't have any, right? There are no events, there are no traditions because the college is so new. So if you're interested, like I said, in being part of that, opportunity to influence what this college will look like in the years to come, you would want to rank this college highly on your UC application. And we will talk about how to rank your colleges in just a second. I did also want to mention that for our transfer students, so I mentioned that 7th College opened its doors to its first class of students ever in fall of 2020. That was for first-year students. So they're actually opening their doors to their first class of transfer students in fall of 2022. So if you are interested, if you're intrigued by this college, you want to go ahead and pay attention as you rank them on your application. And then before talking about how to rank them, I did want to share with you the websites of each of our colleges. These websites are really just another great resource for you to explore and to learn more about them individually, their traditions, their general education requirements, their staff, and much more. So I'll go ahead and give you just a few seconds here if you would like to take a picture or a screenshot, or if you would like to just quickly jot down the websites for the colleges that are interesting to you. Okay. So next I want to get into or dive into how to rank the colleges a little bit more, right? So you will have to rank them in the UC application. When you select UC San Diego, it will prompt you to this page here. You have to rank them from your first choice or your top choice to your 7th choice. Do know that that's just letting us know what your preferences are. But at the end of the day, we do accommodate students based on availability, right? You can rank the colleges based on any factor you want. You can do so based on their philosophy, based on their location. You can do it based on randomly, right? Like I mentioned, I'm a UC San Diego alum. So when I was applying to UC San Diego, I actually had no idea what this college system was. I didn't really understand it. And I went ahead and I really just focused on the logos and the philosophies. And I saw that Muir College had a tree in their logo and they're environmentally friendly. And I really liked that. So that's how I rank my colleges. And I really loved my time. But some of my peers were a lot more strategic, right? Some students will go ahead and focus on the general education requirements and then their potential major requirements. And sometimes you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? So it's completely up to you and how important the college is to you. But I do encourage you to utilize the resources and the information that we've shared with you in the presentation thus far to make a more informed decision, right? The other thing that I really wanted to highlight was, again, that for our transfer students, you will now have the option to rank 7th College in the application. So be sure to do a little bit of extra research if you want to learn more about the college, or use this time now to ask us some of those questions. I also want to highlight that your college ranking will have no bearing on your admission decision, okay? You can rank them completely freely, however you would like to. It will not impact your admission decision whatsoever. What will happen really is once we've made a decision and admitted you, then we'll go ahead and assign you to your colleges based on your preferences. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. If not, we do have a Q&A session next, and we can use that space to answer some of the questions you might have. Okay, so we really do hope that today's session helped paint a more clear picture of how the college system works at UC San Diego, and that you have a better understanding of each of the 7 colleges. Now it's time to transition to some fun. We have reserved time for a Q&A with some current students. So we will have a student panel be able to answer some of your questions. I would like to invite our student panelists on the screen. I do ask that you please turn your cameras on. As they prepare, just a reminder to our attendees that you can submit your questions in the Q&A feature that can be found at the bottom of your screen here. and we will do our best to address as many questions as possible. Okay, and so while we wait for you all to submit those questions, for our student panelists, I do ask that you introduce yourselves, please. If you could tell us your first name, your hometown, your major and or minor, and then what UC San Diego College you were a part of. So we can go ahead and start off maybe with Alyssa, Kevin, and then Jessica.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Alyssa. My hometown is Mission Viejo, California, about an hour north of our campus. And I'm currently majoring in general biology and minoring in psychology. And I am a student of Marshall College.
Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Kevin and I'm a fourth year chemical engineering major in Warren College. And then I'm originally from Huntington Beach, California.
Hey everyone, thank you so much, Sin. My name is Jessica and I'm a student assistant here at the UC San Diego Office of Undergraduate Admissions. I'm originally from San Francisco, California, and I'm also currently a second year transfer student. So I'm essentially a fourth year, and I'm in Earl Warren College and I'm majoring in business psychology.
Awesome, thank you all for sharing that information. So let's go ahead and just dive into things. The first question that we have for you all is, what is your favorite thing about the college system, right? We'll start off with a little simple question. What is your favorite thing? And then we can start off with Jessica, then Alyssa, and then Kevin.
Sure. So UCSD is a huge school. I think that's been reiterated multiple times throughout the panel. And so I think in general, what made me gravitate towards UC San Diego specifically would have to be the college system itself, since it's so unique to our school specifically, in terms of like we're the only UC that offers it within the UC system. So my favorite thing within the 7 college system that UC San Diego has to offer would be how they have helped me in my personal experience make my transfer experience feel more personal and like approachable, just because the college system has helped me find like a sense of community, since it's like really easy to feel like an outcast, especially as a transfer student. So my college, Earl Warren College, specifically has given me opportunities to explore how like my own life values kind of like align with like my college's philosophies and things like that. And so what's kind of funny is that just like within the general scope of the UC San Diego campus life is the college system is such a big part of our identity. And so like whenever you meet someone and like passing by and stuff like that, you like ask their name, obviously. And then like the second question is usually like, what college are you in? Just because again, it's such a big part of our identity, and a lot of people identify and kind of, you know, resonate with their college and things like that. And so yeah, that definitely is a favorite part, at least for me, in terms of what I really enjoy about the college system that UC San Diego has to offer.
Definitely. And then just kind of going off of what Jessica said, I think for me, the best part is that it really helps make such a large campus, and like we have so many undergraduate students, feel a lot smaller. As we kind of touched on in the presentation, each of the colleges have their own little like residential neighborhoods on our campus. So you'll be living within that kind of smaller community for your first year at the minimum. And that alone really helps kind of make that smaller community feel. Another really important thing is that the colleges themselves have so many different opportunities and resources to help you out. I myself actually got a job through my college. I currently work in the academic advising office of Thurgood Marshall College. I'm a peer advisor there, so I meet with students and answer their questions about Marshall general education requirements and things like that. So there's just a lot of different opportunities for leadership, for jobs, lots of fun events and traditions like was touched on. So that's definitely my favorite part about the college system, is just those resources and making such a big school feel smaller.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with both Jessica and Alyssa. And I think Corey really said it best, is that this college system really does kind of give you the liberal arts college feel while still having access to all the benefits of a top research institution, which UC San Diego is. It's really no fun feeling like such a small fish in a pool of over 30,000 undergraduate students. So I think breaking our large campus down into these little subsects definitely helps mitigate that feeling. And you really do meet some of your closest friends through your college. Stepping foot onto campus, I think the people you live with, the people that you're going to events with within your college are really going to become not only your first friends right when you get to campus, but carrying in through 4 years, again, still holds true for me. So that's definitely my favorite parts about the college system.
Hey, thank you all for sharing. As an alum, I can definitely confirm that this is very true. The colleges are part of your identity. They play a big role in your involvement. We did get another question, actually, Kevin, maybe you can help me with this. What is the atmosphere like in terms of people getting around and making friends? So you talked a little bit of that, social part of it. What would you say to this?
Definitely. So even just outside of your residential neighborhoods, that's where you're going to be living with people. Obviously, the first people you meet on campus are going to be people that you're living with. But within that very first week 1 or even week 0, there's times where you have events that are specific to your college, whether that's Welcome Week or Unolympics, where you're competing in a series of games specifically against the other colleges, really getting towards that friendly competition. You do meet friends right off the bat, and then you'll continue to meet friends in your college and then extend that even further out through your major, or if you join clubs or organizations. So you start with your college and then you kind of can branch out that way.
Thank you for that. And it's true, when you're in your classroom, you interact with people of every college. And when you're in your college, you interact with people of every department. We do have another question. Maybe Alyssa, you can go ahead and help me with this one. We have someone that shared, I'm currently a senior and I'm hoping to become an English major. Which of the 7 colleges would be the best fit for an English major?
Gotcha. So yeah, like was kind of touched on, you can really be any major in any college. Their general education requirements do vary a little bit. I know this kind of just as an academic advisor. So sometimes they may overlap with your major more than other colleges would, but at the end of the day, you're going to take about the same number of classes in any of the colleges, and you can be any major in any college, and you will find all of the majors throughout all of the colleges. I know some people think like, oh, like this department is in this college, so all my classes will be there, so I'll just be in this college and then I won't have to walk as much. I've had classes all over campus, like for my major, for my college. So not the best philosophy to go off of, but it is something that some people choose their college based on. If like your home department, if the English department was in a certain college, like you could maybe go off of that, but I personally wouldn't recommend it because you will have classes all over the place, both for your major, for your general education requirements, all of that. So yeah, any major, any college, and really just kind of maybe check out the general education requirements a little bit for each of the colleges and try to see if any of them like maybe overlap really well with your major, or if you like really vibe with a certain philosophy or things like that is what I would recommend.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And then let's bring it back to the basics. Let's ask the question to all of you. What is one of your favorite traditions at your college or any of the colleges that you've attended? And we can go ahead and start off with Jessica and then Kevin and Alyssa.
Sure thing, Sin. So it was actually briefly touched upon Sin herself. And I would have to say, being a part of Warren College, my favorite tradition would have to be the Winter Warren Land that takes place at the end of fall quarter. Yeah, like she said, it's basically this like really cute and fun celebration that kind of highlights the wrap up or like the end of your first quarter of the academic year. And so, the Warren College Student Council Events Board hosts this like very festive like Winter Wonderland celebration where there's like cookie decorating, arts and crafts, like a hot chocolate booth, and like an ugly sweater competition. I think there is anything that's holiday or festive related, it's probably featured in our Winter Warren Wonderland. I just love the pun and the name of it, and like the whole concept of celebrating like towards the end of finals is much needed for a busy student like myself. And so like what better way to have fun and celebrate than with students within my own college.
Yeah, for me, it has to be Warren Live, which is actually like this concert that is put on by Warren College. And it's usually around Valentine's Day. I remember my first year was actually on Valentine's Day, and Sean Kingston came, and I was in like one of the front two rows. He was singing Beautiful Girls to us. And I remember him posting an Instagram story of where he just showed over the whole audience. And I made an appearance on that Instagram story. So it's my big claim to fame. So for me, that's still to this day is one of my favorite events that is kind of put on by Warren. So it was super fun.
Yeah, and then for me, I feel outnumbered. You both are both Warren and I'm Marshall. So for Marshall, we have a big event called Marshall Palooza. It goes on Marshall Field, which is like very central to campus, and it's essentially just a big carnival. So there's like a Ferris wheel that they get out there. There's a petting zoo, also live music, also free food. Definitely recommend. And it's honestly just super fun to go walk around, like ride the Ferris wheel if you want to, and just hang out. And they normally do it kind of like halfway through fall quarter. I believe it's actually next week this year. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's next week. So it's kind of like a nice little break after midterms and before finals start. And it's just like a really fun atmosphere. There's all these cool lights and like, I don't know, it feels like you're almost at like a county fair, but like right there on our campus. And it's like just such a really, really fun event. I went both my freshman year and my sophomore year, and it was just the best time. I am an Orange County girl, so it almost reminded me of Disneyland, almost.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for sharing. As you can hear, you can get a lot of free food and get your 10 seconds of fame if you attend these events. And they're all non-exclusive, so you don't have to be a part of that college to be able to participate. They're available to all students. I did want to have, since we're on the topic of Marshall College, Alyssa, we do have a question. What is the best part of being in Marshall College, and have you encountered any challenges, and how did you work through them?
Yeah, I think for me, I chose Marshall College fully just based on the philosophy. And each of the colleges has their own like writing series that goes along with them. So those are classes that are specific to your college. And for Marshall's, it's called DOC, which is short for Dimensions of Culture. And in these classes, we just talked about things that I was very passionate about. So like was kind of mentioned in the presentation, we talk about different topics in American history that you might not see in textbooks. Going after Thurgood Marshall's life himself, we talk about things like social justice and activism. And these are things that I'm really passionate about and have been really passionate about since high school. So for me personally, that was probably one of my favorite parts of being in Marshall College, just getting to really engage with those topics in an academic setting and like actively learn about all of these things that I never got the chance to learn about in high school. And with that, there's definitely challenges. You know, you're learning a lot of new information all at once, but you're all learning it together. That's the nice thing about the writing series, is that those are with people in your college. So that class is just all Marshall College students. And, you know, there'll be different like viewpoints and like maybe some conflicting ones sometimes, but it's honestly like just such a great experience to like learn and grow and open your mind. And that's something that I really, really, really appreciated about my college experience thus far, and like how, you know, I've learned to be more open-minded, and I've just generally learned so much because of it. So that's definitely my favorite thing about Marshall College. There was a second part to that question, and now I'm blanking on it.
Yes. Did you encounter any challenges at any point, and how did you work through them?
Oh, okay. I kind of touched on that anyways, just with like the kind of class it is itself. Honestly, the biggest challenge I had was just kind of where I lived was down a hill. So I had to walk uphill a lot. But honestly, that was sort of it for Marshall. But like we all said, all of the colleges are very proud of themselves. There's like always some friendly rivalries. People will always say their college is the best. So I think Marshall's the best, but that's just how it is.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. And I think what you shared kind of goes with what we mentioned earlier, right? That your colleges are a small community on campus and you really find that support. So I love hearing that. Jessica, we do have a question for you. what does the experience of starting in a college as a transfer student look like? If you can share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So just kind of pulling from my own transfer student experience. What's really nice about UC San Diego and just like how they kind of handle the whole transfer student process is that obviously, like, you know, throughout the presentation, we were just kind of giving like general spiels of like how the general ed kind of works for 4 years. But in terms of like 2 years, each college kind of modifies how many classes each transfer student can take, because obviously you want to get out of here within 2 years because you're a transfer student. And so touching base personally on Warren College, because that's like what I have to talk about. I like, or actually previously in the presentation, Sin was mentioning how within Warren College, you could kind of dive into 2 different, I guess, like mini minors that like aren't really related to your major. And that is true. The only caveat like that isn't true is like, she mentioned that like for 4 years, they're able to like take as many classes that'll help them like almost pursue a minor. Whereas like for a transfer student, at least in Warren College, when pursuing those mini minors, you won't have that flexibility or time to be taking, you know, 4 or 5 classes that are close to helping you finish up that minor that you're exploring within Warren College at least. And so to get a transfer student kind of a little taste of that mini minor within Warren College at least is they have you take 1 class that is not related to the school or department that your major is in. So for example, I'm in business psych, which is social science. So then I ended up taking 2 mini minors with a critical gender studies class and a theater class, which are 2 classes that are completely like left field from my major, but I still got to participate and experience the Warren College philosophies through those little mini minor classes, because the requirements were just 2 classes to kind of, I guess, fulfill those requirements within Warren College. And so, I mean, again, it varies per college. I mean, just because our virtues and philosophies within Warren College are for you to experience, just kind of have like towards a life in balance, therefore exploring like mini minors that aren't related to your major. That's how they kind of modify it for the transfer student journey at least. And so it was totally doable and definitely not overwhelming. And yeah, I'm happy to say that I got, you know, all my Warren GEs done in a standard amount of time. Like it's not overwhelming at all, especially as a transfer student, because you think, oh, I have to get out of here in 2 years. And so how am I going to manage to finish this all? Like what each college is really great about is that they will modify it to where a transfer student can totally do it within their 2 years here at UC San Diego.
Thank you for sharing that. You know, our transfer students are an important part of our, you know, Triton community, and your college is really important as well. So we do have another question, Kevin, maybe you can help me out with this one. How easy or what is the process like for students to transfer or switch colleges if they're interested? What does that mean? What does that look like?
Yeah, definitely. So I do want to note just really quickly right off the bat that it's usually not too common for students to switch from one college to another. Part of the reason behind that is that there really isn't too many differences within one college to the next. What I mean by that is that no one college is really that much better than the next, even though I would like to say Warren College is the best because obviously we're in it, me and Jessica, that is. But if you did want to switch colleges, that process is primarily handled by your academic advisors and your college, I guess, council. And you would need to prove that you would graduate slightly earlier by switching colleges than in remaining in your home college. So again, it's really not the most common thing to happen. And I would venture to say that coming in right off the bat, you're going to like your college a whole lot and really not going to want to switch out of it. So it's not something that I would worry about too much.
Thank you, Kevin. And it's true. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still graduating from UC San Diego. You are still a UC San Diego student. Your college is just, where do you go back to at the end of the day, right? Okay, so we did have another question. We have a few questions about really what is the social life on campus? And does it, you know, vary depending on the college that you are in? So maybe we can have all of you share, what has your social life been like on campus? And do you think your college has influenced that? We can start off with Alyssa, then Jessica, then Kevin.
Yeah, so just to start off, I know this off the top of my head, we have over 500 student clubs and organizations. So if there's anything you're interested in, there most likely already is a club for it that you can go join. There's also a lot of different like career related clubs. So if like your pre-med or your pre-nursing or any of those, there's probably a club for it and you can get different experiences through that. And then obviously there's just lots of fun social ones as well. I myself am in a sorority, so my experience is a little different, but that's just one way that I got involved and I chose to not get involved. But I'm also currently the president of a career-based organization. It's called the Genetic Counseling Student Interest Group. If you're interested in bio, let me know. And I was on the executive board for a community service organization last year called Pink Ribbon Initiative. So there's lots of different types of organizations, whether you're looking for service, whether you're looking for just something fun and social, or whether you're looking for something that will really advance your career. There's so many different ways to get involved. I wouldn't say it really varies too much by college. I mean, all of these colleges have these fun events and traditions that everyone gets to go to. And all of these clubs, like anyone can join. So lots of different ways to get involved for sure.
Yeah, literally just kind of building off of exactly what Alyssa said, just like that last bit in terms of like nothing is too exclusive to a college where like you can't get involved, just because like she said, there's just so much to kind of just get immersed in here at UC San Diego. And so again, a club or a club is not exclusive to a college. And so, you know, the world is your oyster kind of when you like attend UC San Diego. So there's that. But in terms of keeping it kind of related to the college panel that we're on, I can kind of speak on like how to get involved within like Warren College, and I can kind of like touch base on what I'm involved in, but just to kind of like go in order. In terms of like the research I've done as a transfer student and getting involved within Warren College, I think I could kind of dumb it down to like 3 ways that I've kind of gotten involved. And so I guess the first way is within at least Warren College, at least, there's weekly newsletters that kind of highlight like the events that are going on that week and just kind of see what's going on at Warren College at least. And so the reason why I really love getting the newsletters is because I get to see if they're doing like exclusive giveaways that you could sign up for like via Google form. And like what's really exciting about those is that they're really like first come first serve. And so it's usually like cool Warren College merch that like they don't sell anywhere on campus. And so it's like a cool exclusive perk to like, you know, really read through those newsletters when you sign up, at least when you're in Warren. And then a second way to get involved, as we briefly mentioned earlier, is to like attend Warren College traditions and like events that we hold just throughout the academic year, just to meet other fellow Warren College students and just like in general, like UC San Diego students, and, you know, come together for a common purpose, whether that be like, you know, the Winter Warren Land, or, you know, just something as simple as like a de-stressor event that's like being held on campus. And so like, I guess a third way, or the last way that like you could get involved, at least through Warren, is through the 9 student organizations that we have. And so we happen to have a variety of student organizations exclusive to Warren College that kind of range between like, I think we have a Warren Grow College where it's like, or a Warren Grow like organization where like they focus on like community gardening to like, you know, our concert and festivals commission within Warren. And so like what's cool about the variety and the organizations that we have is that there's a little something for everyone in terms of like joining a group that like you're able to do something that you're passionate about, or, you know, whether you collaborate with other Warren College students. In terms of specifically what I'm involved in, at least within Warren College, is that I'm an honor society scholar. And so what this basically is in a nutshell is like, to be a scholar, you have to like maintain a GPA of like 3.7 or above. So it's like a lot of like academic merit and stuff like that. So we have things like that within Warren. And like what's cool about that is that as a student, it helps me like track like how I'm doing academically, and just kind of, since membership is recalculated at the end of each quarter. So that's at least like how I'm involved within my college. But then kind of like touching base to like the overall grand scheme of things, like generally within UC San Diego, that kind of pertains to my major. I'm part of PsyChi, which is an international psychology organization, and it's really great to get like research opportunities done and like just kind of get your like your postgraduate CV all completed and things like that. So that's also something I'm part of. And of course, as a transfer student, we do have a national organization or society that I'm a part of, which is called Tau Sigma. So again, I just took it upon myself to get involved in anything and everything, to not feel like an outcast and to just like really get acclimated on campus. Because as a transfer student, it's, it could feel really tough, very overwhelming. And I definitely had those feelings and I shared those thoughts. And so I was like, UC San Diego has so much to offer. It would be a waste to kind of like not explore that with my last 2 years of my undergraduate degree here. And so, yeah, those are just definitely ways I've gotten involved and done my research here.
Yeah, definitely. Jessica and Alyssa pretty much covered it. You can kind of be social inside your college, outside of your college. There's so many different major focus clubs, multicultural organizations, social organizations that you're really not limited. And I'm going to steal Cynthia's some of her thoughts and kind of rephrase them again, because I really like the way she said that, is if you're doing a college specific event like Warren College Associated Students or our student government, you're going to meet so many different people of different majors that are in different clubs from all over campus. Likewise, if you're doing something, for example, I'm on a project team, I'm meeting people from every single one of the different colleges. So it really is kind of a two-way street. And I think that's one of the most beneficial features about the college system. So to just steal those thoughts over from Cynthia, because I just really like the way you phrased that. But that's kind of one of the best parts for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for sharing a little bit about that. And at the end of the day, if you can't find anything to do on campus, we do live in San Diego. So there's a ton of things that you can do off campus, and we got tons of transportation to get you there. Kevin, since, I got you on the line, maybe you can share a little bit with us about how do upperclassmen connect to their college if they live off campus, or really any student that might live off campus.
Yeah, definitely. So I currently live off campus right now. I'm a fourth year student. I know I'm old. Don't remind me. But it's really easy. One, I guess the first key part is getting to campus, right? So I'll just touch briefly on that. There's bus systems that are really easy to get you to and from campus. You can bike, you can skateboard, do all of those important things. So then once you're on campus, definitely put yourself out there. You want to meet people. You want to kind of go beyond the classroom, join college specific organizations, join major specific organizations. So I think it always comes down to, and I know it's cliche, is if whatever you put in, you're going to get out. But I think that really is the best advice I can give when it comes to getting involved in your college, especially if you live off campus, because you are going to have to put in a little bit more effort. It's not as easy as you leave your dorm room and on the way to class, you see someone tabling for Warren College student government. But the opportunities are out there for you. So if you kind of keep up to date on like the newspapers, the announcements, the postings from your college, I think it'll be pretty easy to get involved.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And we do have just a few minutes left. So I do want to ask all of you, how did you decide and choose the college that you are in? I would love to hear that. So we can start off with Alyssa, then Kevin, then Jessica.
Yeah, for me, I touched on this a little bit earlier, but I just really was connected to Marshall's philosophy and kind of how this philosophy ties into their general education requirements and all of that. To be a little cliche, Marshall is kind of in the center of campus, so that was nice as well, just to be sort of centrally located. And in my opinion, we have one of the best dining halls because Ocean View Terrace has build your own pizza. So I was kind of like looking into all of that, and I was like, I think Marshall is the one for me. And I'm really glad I chose that because I'm a biology major, so I don't get to explore those kind of humanities related topics that I'm so passionate about in my major classes, but Marshall allowed me to do that. So that's why I picked Marshall.
Yeah, for me, I didn't really know too much about the college system when I was first applying. So for me, it was just as simple as looking at a one phrase sentence being our college mottos. And for me, Warren College's philosophy and motto really stuck out. It's towards a life in balance. And I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? And then it got me going, researching into those area studies or proofs of concentration, those little mini minors. And I found out that outside of my core curriculum classes, I can kind of tailor the rest of my education and take classes that I found interesting. So for me, I'm doing an area study in economics and then specialized fine arts and humanities. So it allowed me to take classes that I would never have taken outside of Warren College. I've taken a sports sports history class, a jazz class, all of the above. And it really kind of gave me a more well-rounded education looking back on it.
Dang, Kevin stole my answer, but that's fine. It really, what it came down to when I'm trying to like rewind back to when I was applying is like Sin, like a lot of people probably on this Zoom is like, you kind of get to that section on the UC app and you're like, what are the colleges? But that's why you're here. And so kind of what it boiled down to for me was, like Kevin said, our philosophy here, at least at Earl College, towards a life in balance, just kind of exploring those mini minors. I'm a very introspective person. I'm pursuing psych as my major. And so I knew that I really like, just kind of like equilibrium and just kind of having like that equalness in my life. And so, or equality. And so I was just kind of like, what better way to kind of like get a well-rounded education, just like Kevin said, and explore those mini minors in things that I would have never explored in my life, just kind of because it's a GE requirement. And I'm so glad that Warren like made me do that and like branch out. And so that was definitely like step number one, like what kind of drew me to Earl Warren College, kind of being up there in the ranks. And then the second one would obviously be like our mascot. It's Burl the bear, like so cute. And like we have like this huge like monument on our Warren lawn. So I mean, I love bears, they're very cute. And so I thought, why not? They're so cute. Again, like similar to Sin, like the logo kind of drew me in, and like, just kind of doing that research, like it shows like a scale, but if you look and like kind of explore the mascots for each college, that might draw you in. So whatever way you want to do it, to each their own, like make sure you just do your research and connect really with how you're ranking your colleges on the app.
Perfect. Thank you all so much for sharing. We actually have no more time for any more questions, and I did see that there was a few more in the Q&A feature. Please feel free to connect with us after today. If you have any other questions, we will be sharing our contact information. Thank you, our student panelists, for your time this evening. Your answers were very thoughtful and thorough, and we really appreciate it. And now I'd like to pass things over back to Azizi, who is going to close us out.
Thank you, Sin, and thank you to all of our students for answering all those questions. As Sin said, that was great. We really enjoyed you sharing all of your experiences at UC San Diego and really helping our prospective students to get an understanding of what our college system is like. So as you can probably gather, the college system is something so unique and special and instills a lot of pride and excitement in our UC San Diego students. We hope that you were able to get your questions answered and feel free and feel more confident rather in ranking the colleges on your UC application. If you have any follow-up questions or concerns that you need clarification on, our contact information is here for you on the screen. You can email us at admissionsreply@ucsd.edu or explore our website at admissions.